Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President-elect Adama Barrow, honorable ministers present here, government spokesperson, political advisors, political allies, members of the media, all other protocols observed. You are welcome to this press conference. His Excellency is available to respond to your questions. And with that, we will start with GRTS. Can you ask your question, please?
Thank you so much, Madam DPPR. Good afternoon, Your Excellency, and I would just like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your victory on behalf of GRTS. My name is Mamoudou Diallo. Now, my question is, you have won a landslide victory that has been internationally and domestically acclaimed by all observers. Now, moving forward, what are your priorities in unifying the country and delivering on your agenda of development?
Thank you very much, Mamoudou Diallo. GRTS, it's a great pleasure and an honor to grant this very important press conference. As you said, it was a well-contested elections. I think all the candidates participated, and we create an environment, a conducive environment for all the candidates to campaign freely. The Gambians have taken a decision. I think it was a very important decision. We have been endorsed for a new term. As I said before the elections, I will still continue with infrastructural development. As I said, no infrastructure, no development. I have many reasons. If you want to develop the health sector, you cannot develop it without infrastructure. If you want to develop education, you cannot develop education without the infrastructure. If you want to industrialize the agricultural sector, you cannot without the infrastructure. Communication, road network, infrastructure. You cannot expand electricity without infrastructure. So all development is linked to infrastructure. So my focus and direction is to develop this country, to develop the infrastructure, to make sure the infrastructural development, we continue with it. Thank you.
Can I now call on the QTV?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Excellency. On behalf of QTV, I congratulate you on your recent victory. My question is, what would your government do? Right from the elections, this country is deeply polarized. What would your government do in order to unite the country? Thank you.
Thank you. I think since I came to power in 2017, the country was more divided than now. We tried to unify the Gambian people. As I always said, I'll be the president for all Gambians. And also, we will try to make sure even the people that we disagree with, we will try to work with them in the future. But we are open. We know this is not about personal issues. This is about principle. This is about the Gambia. And we should all understand that if you are a Gambian, it is everybody's responsibility to contribute to national development. You are not working for Adama Barrow. Nobody is working for me. We are working for this country. That's why even in these elections, I don't think there is a loser. We are all winners because it's the Gambia that is important. So we will do everything possible to bring the people together to make sure we develop this country.
Next, iAfrica.
Okay. Good afternoon. In record, your government has several unfulfilled promises to the people. The construction of the Barrow Bridge, for example, is pending. You ruled for 5 years instead of 3 years. Now, what assurance is there to show that you are not a president for life in the absence of constitutional term limit?
Well, I think it is a very interesting question. You know, one thing that people don't understand, I was not appointed as president. I was elected. I was elected for 5 years. I was elected for 5 years. That is the Constitution, and I make sure that I respected the Constitution. When I was contesting the elections, I promised Gambians, and I think most of the promises have been fulfilled. I think even we have achieved more than what we thought that we can do for this country within these 5 years. The development within these 5 years is unprecedented. I will give you examples. For 50 years, after 52 years of independence, when we assess our roads, countrywide, the tar roads we have in this country, paved roads, is 800 kilometers. And we were able to do about 600 kilometers plus within 5 years, unprecedented. If you take the ratio between these periods, for 50 years, the previous government were doing 15 kilometers a year. In our assessment, we did 150 kilometers every year. I think that is unprecedented. There were no bridges. We did the Farafenni Bridge. We make sure we complete the Farafenni Bridge. We did the Basse Bridge. We did the Farafenni Bridge. Schools. We have built more than 3,000 classrooms. We renovated more than 1,800 classes. Clean toilets for schools, over 2,500. It has never happened in the history of this country. We increased salary of workers by 50%. Pensioners by 100% increment. It's unprecedented. Electricity, when I was coming, according to even the World Bank, when I was coming, the on and off here, electricity goes off more than 17 to 19 times a day. We were able to bring it down to between 2 to 3 times a day. The expansion, I can count it on and on. I think that's why the Gambians came out in large numbers. About 90% of Gambians voted in these elections. And the endorsement, I think, is very, very clear. It's loud and clear. My major contender, the gap is about 219,000. Even when I defeated Yahya Jammeh, I defeated him by 18,000. I think the Gambians really recognize what we have been doing in this country. That's why they gave me another mandate on the 4th of December, 2021. For the Barrow Bridge, it is not the government that is going to build the bridge. We are negotiating with investors on BOT or BOOT, build, operate, and transfer. We are negotiating with them. And this negotiation, most of the time, what you see outside and what is inside sometimes is different. And we are serving the interests of this country, the national interest, supreme interest of this country. That's why we are negotiating, and these are highly technical, because we are looking at a cost between 700 million to 1 billion. It will be the biggest project in the history of this country. But we are very optimistic. As we are negotiating with other companies, we think we will build the bridge. We are confident that it can happen. But we are really committed to building the bridge. We will do everything possible for it to happen.
Thank you. Next, we have Fatu Network.
Thank you very much, Mr. President-elect. My name is Lamanjai. I work for the Fatu Network as the editor-in-chief. You promised to defeat your father in this election, and you have delivered on that promise. But your father is not accepting this election. What is your view or opinion on this? Thank you.
Well, these elections were conducted by the Independent Electoral Commission. They are the institution that is responsible for conducting elections. It is not me to say you should accept or not accept elections. You can have your opinion on it, but I think we all depend on the pronouncement of the Independent Electoral Commission as the institution that is responsible for organizing elections. And that institution also, there are other institutions that we are supporting the Independent Electoral Commission, international observers, local observers, and other observers that were here. I think it's unprecedented that for the first time we have five or six former presidents to come and observe these elections. I think Gambia is well noticed around the world today. I was just having a meeting with one observer. He said he has observed over 180 elections. He have never seen something like that sort of 5 former head of states coming to observe the elections. We have over 1,000 observers. But we are a small country, but we are not intimidated by big countries. I think Gambia is doing very well, and we are very happy with the support that we have gotten from the international community. That means they are watching Gambia. That means they want to help Gambia. They want to support Gambia so that we are able to conduct a free, fair, transparent election, peaceful election, peaceful campaign, peaceful voting. I think we did very well. We are a third world country. We have challenges though. I think we did everything possible. And to make so also, we use our limited resources to organize elections on time. You know, looking at the campaign, I personally took the decision to provide security to all the candidates. And I think that is a good thing, and I think other countries will learn from Gambia. That is the message we are getting from the international community. But we will still continue to improve, you know, to make so we do everything possible for us to organize elections that will be even better than this one in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. RTS soo bëggee mën ngaa laajte si olof mbala làkk bu la neex bu dul français.
ñu ngi lay nuyu président maa ngi tudd Abdoulaye Sinkare di journaliste RTS Sénégal lu ma bëggoon nga ñëwaat ci tuuti mooy li nga wax ci début bi li nga bëgg def priorité ci infrastructure parce que wax nga ni no infrastructure no development ma bëggoon nga ñëwaat ci tuuti ci wolof et puis tam nga wax ñu parce que diggante Sénégal ak Gambie dafa sori trop est-ce que infrastructure yooyu comme li ñu gis ci Farafenni Bridge bi am na ci wàll boo xam ni da nga ci war a liggéey ak Sénégal jërëjëf.
Excellence Presidency ñu ngi lay félicité man tamit ñaari journaliste de RTS ini ñu ngi lay félicité ci fal bi ñu la fal ci élection bi nga xamante ne ñun ñi demoon nañ xool ndax transparent na wala déet ñu ngi lay félicité bu baax ak sa.
waa ji ñoom njëkkaa laajte diggante Sénégal ak Gambia ñun dañ bugga mu ratax dañ bugga mu yomba si diplomatie ku la gën a jegeñ da nga war a xaritoo ak moom because sa diplomatie si moom lay njëkkee surtout Gambie ak Sénégal amul fenn si àdduna si lu mel ni Gambie ak Sénégal amul fenn si àdduna si doo ko am géej bu ngaa gis si Gambie bi fii dafa xaaj Sénégal si digga xaaj Gambia si digga amul fenn ñun benn làkk bi la ñoo làkk benn diine bi lañ am benn culture bi suñ tradition yëpp benn la kon ñun benn nit ki la colonisation moo tax xaaj am suñ diggante ñun ñuy làkk anglais ngeen di làkk français waaye nag benn affaire moom si suñ diplomatie ak Sénégal lu important na mooy ñun ñaari njiit ni important na trop pour ñun ñu déggoo ñu nekk xarit ñu nekk dominé te loolu moo jaar suma diggante président Macky Sall kon fon naa loolu dafa yombal lu bari suñu diggante ak Sénégal because su dara xewee man dama dee mun a oo Macky Sall ma wax ak moom ñu wax si téléphone rek ñu lijjante ko mu am kon loolu dafa important su juboo amul loolu du mun a am ñaareel bi diggante Sénégal sax tukki bi suñu diggante fon na dafay gën a yomba because suñ aéroport yi léegi ñu ngi ko domestiqué loolu mooy lempo yu nekk si affaire yi ticket yi def léegi dañ ko def mel ni local flight la fu mu nekk ni dafay gën a yomba dafay yomba ba yow nga dugg avion mooy gën a yomba dan nga dugg oto loolu xëj na suñ diggante signé nañ kayit yi xam naa ne léegi tey mu door su dooree jaratul nga jël oto da nga jël avion rek bu ko dafay yomb kon loolu moo nekk suma diggante ak Sénégal te loolu dinañ continuer tout loolu am nuñ ko waxee man a Macky Sall siix lañ waaye dama ko wax ne nekkul ñun rek ñëpp a war a seexoo ministre yi njiiti soldat yi njiiti place yëpp dañu war a leen la mooy loo dox fu mu nekk nii suñ njiit yëpp ñu ngi waxtaan kon loolu lu am solo la suñu diggante ak Sénégal.
Thank you, sir. Le Al Jazeera. One question, please.
Thank you, Excellency. Just before these elections, your government received the report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. How far and how fast is your administration willing to go in acting with that report?
Yes, thank you very much. The TRRC is a very important project, and it's a very important project to me. It can be part of my legacy as president. That's why it is very, very important, and it's very important to my government, and it's very important to this country. But this project, or any other project, you have to follow a process. The process is they should submit the report to me. That is my government. We will look at the report, But we make it public after 1 month. We'll make sure after 1 month it is public, so that me and you, we will all know what is in the report. Then, not more than 6 months, we should come out with a white paper. But this white paper is not entirely my decision. I am part of the decision making, but it's not entirely my decision. It will come to cabinet. The cabinet will discuss it. It's not cabinet alone. We will have technical team that will guide us and advise us. After the advice, basically what we agreed on, then we will have it on a white paper. And that white paper will dictate what we have accepted or what we didn't accept. This is the process. But one thing we want to assure, there will be justice and reconciliation, reparations. It will all happen. But we have to be patient, we have to take our time. And I said it, I am the architect of this project. I think nobody wouldn't have interest in this project more than myself. There's no doubt about that. But it's a very famous project. People have a lot of opinion about the project. We cannot stop people talking, rumors and all sort of. But we don't want to base our things on sentiments. We want to make sure we follow due process and we take the right decision. Be rest assured, it will be out and decision will be taken.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have DEC.
My name is Omar Wali. What I want to know, Mr. President, is that the Constitution did not pass through the Parliament, and for many reasons, including the retrospective term limits. Now that you won a second term, are you going to bring the draft Constitution? And how many terms do you intend to serve as the President of the Gambia?
A big fan of term limit. When I was launching the project, that was part of my statement. And I'm a big fan of absolute majority. But as I said, these things is not the President's decision. It passed through processes. I think the National Assembly, the document got to the National Assembly, and they disagree on the document. We tried to negotiate it through mediators. We couldn't agree. It is suspended, but I assure you, I want that project to be part of my legacy. I assure you, you will have a new constitution before the end of my term. No doubt about that. I am committed to it, and I will make sure it happens.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have AFP. No, sorry, RFI. RFI?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, about the CRC, what are you going to do concretely to make it sure that you change the constitution, that you can really change it, and afterwards about the TRRC, there has been some doubts in the victims about you really willing to go further with this process. Are you really willing to go further and to make the justice? And at some point, could you ask Equatorial Guinea to extradite Mr. Jamming?
Okay.
I think he didn't listen to my response very well. One thing that I made very clear, the project is my project. I'm the face of the TRRC. You see, today we are talking about the victims. We are talking about the TRRC. And we are talking about the evidence in front of us. It's because we launched the project. That's why today the victim center is there. And that's why today the victims knows exactly what have happened in this country. That's why I told the people, let us be patient. Let's find out what happened first. Then that will dictate what we do next. Now we are looking at the report. When we finish with the report, obviously that will dictate what will be our next move.
Thank you. AFP.
Mr. President, thank you for this. Good afternoon. I would like to go back on the constitution. You said that there would be a new constitution before the end of your mandate. Can you specify that the constitution, the new constitution, will include a term limit, and will this new constitution reset the clock as it did in several countries around the region, or will you feel committed to the term limit? And I have an additional one, if you allow me.
One question.
Yes. Okay.
Can we have the mic, please?
I assure you and the whole world and all Gambians that we will have a new constitution and we will have time limit and absolute majority will be in that constitution.
Thank you. Can we have West Coast Radio, please? West Coast?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. How do you intend to address the rapid increment of the cost of living in the country? Yes, I will. West Coast Radio.
It's a very interesting question. Cost of living is not increasing in the Gambia alone. It is not determined by government. But we are doing everything possible to make sure we invest into agriculture. I think that is the only way that is help us to control cost of living in this country. We industrialize our agricultural sector. We take farming as a business so that we can produce enough to feed this country, so that we depend inwards than outside. And I've always been saying, since I came to power, if you are not producing, you become a liability. So to avoid that, we have to produce. That's the time we can compete and control. Then our destiny will be in our own hands. So government is creating the environment so that we can industrialize our agricultural sector. I think that will be the best solution.
Thank you. Next, can we have Star TV, please? Star TV. Star TV around?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, microphone to him.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. President, and congratulations on your victory. My name is Maria Madam from Star TV.
You call me President-elect. That is my new
title.
title.
President-elect, sorry. Yeah, I mean, COVID is still here. So how do you intend to elevate the status of the, country's economy?
Say that again, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I mean, we still have COVID here, and then all, economies have been interrupted by the COVID-19. So what plans do you have in order to improve the status of the country's economy?
Well, thank you very much. I think there are guidelines that are given by government so that we can control the spread of COVID-19. And also, I think people should come out and be vaccinated. I think that will help in controlling COVID in this country. We are doing everything possible to manage our economy. But COVID is a problem all over the world, but there are measures that if we take those measures, we will be able to control COVID, and we will continue with our life, continue doing whatever we are doing in this country to make sure our economy is out there running. Thank you.
Paradise TV.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Okay, my question is, has the Gambia experienced any threat demanding the intervention of the Ecowas military since 2017? If no, why do you still need the economic group in the Gambia?
Well, I think people are misunderstanding what is the mission of ECOWAS in this country. The ECOWAS was not just here to help of get Yahya Jammeh out. No. You know, when I was coming, our security sector was really polluted. We needed to address the security sector. And we needed to reform. Part of those reforms, we need a force, a backup force, to support us to reform. Part of those reforms also training. Right now, most of the state guard, we are training them outside. We still didn't get the numbers we want for State House. We are still limited to that. And also part of our reforms, I think we have always been talking about, how to call it again. We have always been talking about downsizing. They said we should not say downsizing, we say right-sizing. That's the language we use. In right-sizing, we needed to audit. And this is the first time we have audited the security sector. In the process, we need to profile. This is the first time that we are profiling. As we profile, now we need to right-size. As we are doing that, we need a backup force to do all these processes. Training, all these things is going on simultaneously. It's not easy to do these things. I didn't believe that after 50 years, we were not even having a security policy. Do you know that we drafted the policy? There was no strategy, security strategy. There was no military policy in this country. It's all drafted now. These are processes that you follow. People think that it's just easy like that. How much it takes us to draft that policy before we validate that policy? It took us time. We needed the backup forces. And this is not the only country that you have foreign forces. It has happened in many countries. In Liberia, they are there for 12 years. In other countries, Guinea-Bissau. And this is forces from ECOWAS. Gambia is not even paying for it. They are here to support us. It's just like example. You are working on your farm. Somebody came and said, I want to help you on your farm for free. And you are still complaining. Huh? I don't know.
Next, we have West Africa Democracy Radio. Which side is it?
I'm here.
Okay.
Congratulations, Mr. President. What have you learned in this job during your first time? And what are you going to do about the Gambia Ports Authority? Because apparently Gambia was an ideal place for so many people to bring their goods to our ports. But now this is not the case. In fact, even Gambians are sending their vehicles to Senegal. And this, according to reports, have estimated that we're losing millions of dollars here. What are you going to do to take care of this issue?
Your first question is, what have I learned from this job? I think that's your first question.
Yes, sir.
What I have learned from this job is, it might be funny, but I think that is the first thing that I learned on this job. That is not the best job. It's a big responsibility, what I have learned from this job. And one thing is the most difficult in this job. If you come from a third world country, you have limited resources. You're ambitious, you have a big heart, you want to do a lot for your people, but your resources are limited. That gives me endless, sleepless nights because of resources. That is really very challenging. For the port authority, I think you don't understand what is happening at the port. Our port is congested now. When I was coming, the port was working for 12 hours. Now, the port is working for 24 hours. Waiting time, now people wait for about 14 days, 2 weeks. So the port is congested. The port, the arrivals have increased by 16 to 20%. Arrivals at the port. Income have increased at the port authority. We need to expand the port, and we are in the process of expanding the port. We have our partners that are working with us. We want to expand the port, but we need $120 million. But we are working with IMF and World Bank. They are working with us to make sure we expand the size of the port. It is just 3 ships that can anchor, but when we expand it, you can have 4, 5, 6, 7 anchoring at the same time. I'm not quite sure. Anyhow, we are on the process.
Thank you, sir. Department of Information Services. Which side? This one?
Yes. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I wish to congratulate your victory on behalf of Department of Information Services. My name is Lamin Kujabi. Since independence, Gambia has been importing rice, despite the fact that we have land, we have water, but still we are importing rice. What plan do you have to ensure Gambia feed herself?
Yes, that's what I have just said. We want to industrialize the agricultural sector. We have enough land. We have the water, but we have the human resource, but we lack 2 things. That is finance. That is the know-how, the technical knowledge and finance. That's what we lack. But we have a project that is about $80 million to industrialize our agricultural sector, especially rice production. And we have started rehabilitating our rice fields countrywide. And now we are doing permanent canals, more effective, more efficient, so that we can industrialize. This is the way we are thinking, and that's what we are doing.
Can we have Kirfatu? You're not there?
I'm here.
So that's right.
Yes, my name is Landin Sise. I work for Kerfatu. My question is, Mr. President, before the campaign and during the campaign and even after the election, there are a lot of tribal sentiments out there. How do you intend to address this tribal, issue in the country? Thank you.
I think we should all sensitize our people. We should educate our people to make sure that we avoid tribal sentiments in this country, because we are the same people. we intermarried here. We share everything. So I think we should try our best, every Gambian, especially you, the journalists, to enlighten the people, to make sure we educate our people, to make sure we discourage tribal sentiments. We have to stood our ground and fight tribalism in this country. And I think we should all preach peace. That is my advice. But as a government, all the policies that we have are against tribalism. All the institutions that we are building in the country are against tribalism. But we need the support of everybody, every Gambian, to make sure we educate our people, especially the civil society. I think this is something that we should all make sure we come together and fight against tribalism.
Thank you. Next, can we have Taranga FM? Taranga FM around? Okay.
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you, President-elected, and congratulations to you on behalf of Taranga FM. But until after Kenyininkani Manika Kangol. Okay, kabirin tumalamina ite dung ganyeta Gambia banko kanjang ite dung muna mu idin la mansakunda ale mu fere dal soto funding ke wala mini alonko wala be banko kanjang ani musul
Nimbara bake funding ke wala ni musol follow jannimbe jaabi lambe funding ke wala tentula bake be musol tentula wari funding kel funtitale a ñaama ani musol ka carte fay ka farte fay ñi pour yen tombon ma ke président oti bi bari funding kel ni musol yan nin carte fa fon be sila nga kodo soto le meya lonko abe youth and sport ministry pour ka funding kel makoy meya lonko la fa dunna business o kono ka funding kel makoy pour que le métier ni yirwandi ka funding kel fanan tra ke train pour ye métier so andu musol fanan musol la ministre ni ay kodo soto le musol me alon ko ibe groupol kono andu e lansinol soto andu la ta business o kela nga kodo jama di musu jamala andu be continuer pour ko ke barinte danna wodronna laftale na funding kel nge train métier do ko la wayre nga jubele ni métier do ko kan hani momiyata do ko la fana etisi fantano do ko la wol mu kulleti andu métier karandulal fana be men dada kan sayin lafta métier karandula santon ko fana sotolale mi aje ko ni futa do dulalto ni la londo sita o may si do ko jama keno andu si fanna fano yimban kon kanjang so mu kulleti mi alon ko be ngam mira o nyaale andu lafta tamandila o nyaale wayre funding kel kummayata baake 65% Gambian ko funding kel
next we call on Associate Press.
Well, I'm Abdullah John. I was formerly working with the late Panderi Bai. I also filed for the Associated Press News Agency. Climate change is posing an existential threat to humanity. And in Gambia, during the last rainy season, you have witnessed rainstorms that have killed almost 11 people. What are the efforts that your government is going to put up in order to mitigate the effect of climate change?
Yes, I think we should congratulate ourselves. I think today, because of the efforts of the Gambia, we are recognized worldwide as far as climate change is concerned. The restoration of mangroves, these are all part of how to address climate change. Cleaning the environment, these are things that are helping in climate change. And also trying to make sure that we construct good roads whereby you have drainage and all sort of. This is all doing very well for climate change. I think Gambia is doing that, and we have been recognized worldwide as far as climate change is concerned. But it is not only the Gambia, it is affecting the whole world. But I think Gambia is doing their best, despite we are a small country.
Thank you. And next we have Vibes FM. Vibes FM?
Jërëjëf Mr. President, di la congratulate beneen yoon, di la ñaanal jàmm. Man nag dama am laaj, suma laaj jëkk mooy ci wàllu education. Ñu dem ci boobu. Kon mu mel ni education gis nañ ne dafa dellu woon ginnaaw lool. Te it dem nañu ba gis ne private schools yi ñoom la ci borom xaalis yi di nekk di jàngal ku am sa doom yóbbu foofu fay ñu jàngal government school mu ngi fi damay laaj ndax jàng mi ci government school bi moo baaxut wala lan la yan pexe nga ñu ci jëlal jërëjëf.
jërëjëf fon na private school moom aduna si foo dem si dëkki tubaab sax am na private school because private school lu moo def mooy alternative la laa jox nga choose fan nga bëgg a dem oo nda antal nga ko nda antaluloo ko waaye dinaa la wax ne si exemple suñu am nii grade 12 government school si ñoo jël force si Gambia bi kon su nekkee government school si ñoo jël force kon government school si am nañ quality am na foofu waaye choice la pour nga seet fan nga war a dem waaye taxut ne soo demee private school foofu ngay gën a mun a jànga wala foofu la quality bi ëppee bu njëkka Banjul fii ñoo doon jël force léegi si dex ga ñu ngi jël force lu ma gom mooy environnement bi because léegi ñu ngi am école yu baax école yu nga xam ñu ngi am karo école yu nga xam ne ñu ngi am courant bu njëkka ñun bu ñoo dem école lampa kerosène boobu lañ dee taal pour nga study ak ku nga xam ne mu ngi am courant si Banjul dafa amoon différence waaye léegi différence boobu génn na ba pare ñu ngi sampa école yu bari école yu baax ba pare ñeneen ni dañ doon travel ay juróom-benn kilomètre pour dem école coono boobu rek dafa métti léegi diggante école yi passé wul 2 kilomètre kon naa loolu fu mu nekk ni mu ngi dimbale jànga bi ba pare bu njëkka ñu dee jàngale duñ dee am training fu mu nekk ni ñu ngi am training am nañ collège saa si kaw gi mun ngaa jànga foofu dem si collège bi nekk jàngalekat fekk ñëwuloo si capital bi kon loolu yëpp ñu ngi koo liggéey te suñu université bi tam fu mu nekk ni amut woon campus léegi samp nañ université boo xam ne standard yi àdduna la at bi nañ ko ubbi ñu jàng yëpp foofu la ñoo nekk di jàngi si environnement bu baax kon loolu daf leen a gën a dimbale kon waaye government school si ñu ngi try.
léegi next we call on Malagen. Malagen. Is Malagen in?
I am here. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Congratulations. My name is Keba Jeffang. I am from Malagan. Aside the congratulations, Mr. President, I want to take you to 2018 publication that Malagan actually did, in which we investigated the passport, diplomatic passport scandal. So this investigation actually disclosed that 1,900 people are in possession of our passports, diplomatic passports. The figure is staggering, and then it warranted the Auditor General actually to make a recommendation that all the current passport, diplomatic passports we have, all of them should be cancelled. What is your take on that? And then, connection to that, no, it's not a. It's the same question. It's the same question.
Let him answer that question.
Excuse me, that was not the recommendation.
Can I have the mic? Excuse me. Can we continue?
That was not the, the recommendation. The recommendation is the passports that we are missing should be cancelled.
Thank you. Next, we have Premium Times, Nigeria.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Ola from Premium Times. I'm from Nigeria, and I want to know how the government intends to leverage on the support and cooperation with other African countries, especially Nigeria, because recently there was a pact on a single treasury account between Nigeria and the Gambia. I wanted to know how the government intends to leverage on that and other opportunities in development of the economy.
So, Gambia is operating a single treasury account. Yeah. Since 2019, we are operating a single treasury account. We have already passed that level now.
Next, can we have Birkama Community Radio? Birkama Community Radio.
Abaraka Bake, President-elect, mfana lefta diamla mandika kaonla, ba na mulka o kaonla for Bake. Ngetan to Bake, ila ganye ba ye menketen, ngetan to wala, ngetan to fanang, ye leptan ba men fanang berola faratu na molie. Bari lefta lon na ila nyi sanji lulu na la, muna muntol West Coast call nioti, ila irwa plano kono. Abaraka.
West Coast, ela ñinin karo ñin diata ñele planol kono West Coast la planol fongol start tale wayri mbe silol yirwandi kan ne West Coast ni OIC silol jube jamabi jeybe West Coast le bara man dan wodronto ndel fongo man sakunda nga silol sotole mea lonko nga silol me mira mea lonko inyanta West Coast yele la inyanta West Coast la futa nyomo sone andila nga ke phase 1 phase 2 phase 3 ñil be mu silol le mea lonko e confirm tale government dol tendale amina dol tenda kam pour que West Coast la silol doku al fango la ministre bi janne warate interest do West Coast la koto baake Ibrahima Silla ntede silol ñimbe to fono la bari ngalo niate ñini nga fama te silol ñimbe to fono le mel ñanta doku la West Coast bi te kabula wono male bari mba forale ko amanda wo phase 1 phase 2 phase 3 to mina strategic silol be jube la West Coast because lafta West Coast falin nale pour ay ke tenda me alonko ala yirwañi be talale ko tendal be la yirwa be taka ñami laftana la pour ko wala dati bare ngalon na sate balto silol dol deteta baake dandu laftale pour ko wala silol be yele woto ni ñanta o kela foye nafulo jamale soto e bloko no ni o mbirarol be ñolale bari ñin sanji lulo kono inshallah albe doku bajala West Coast kono le andu ñin loptano men fana mina kan atade be kala loptano men warta Gambia loptano beti andu wo fana mbetar la West Coast le ngamira wo mu yiri wa balati West Coast ye bari ñin sanji lulo men fana tambire nga karam bu jama nga wala lo West Coast karam bu ba jama ani hani say wari ngala nga population ñu wartale mbe karam bu dokol fana mbe o continuer la le West Coast ani safaro bunda
Baraka Bake, Gambia Talent. Yes. Can you ask your question, please?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm Sirif Conte from Gambian Talents TV. The question I want to ask is, during your campaign, many political parties endorse your campaign, and now you have been elected. What is their fate, those candidates? Will you be able to provide jobs to all of them?
That was not the agreement. They came to join me as Gambians, and they recognize what I'm doing, and they wanted to come and support me, support my candidature, so that I will win the elections. After winning the elections, they are Gambians, and I will work with Gambians, and I will want to work with them. because I know very well they are people who love their country. And most of them, they have capacity. If I need their expertise in any area, I'll make sure I call them to work with me in those areas. But even without working with me formally, I will seek their advice as far as I am the president of this country. If you are a president, capacity is important. That is listening to the people, to seek advice from them so that they help you in decision making. So, and they are here, some of them are here. I will seize this opportunity once again to thank them and congratulate them for supporting my campaign, for us to be endorsed by the Gambian people and giving us the opportunity to run the affairs of this country for the next 5 years. Already, they are in the history books of this country.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Next, Alcamba Times. Alcamba Times. The microphone you have?
Thank you so much, Mr. President. My name is Mafi Sise. I would like to know what is the plan of your government when it comes to the fishing trawlers that are disembarking in Senegal. What is the plan of your government to make sure that the Gambia government, your government, have its own fishing trawlers that will provide jobs for the young people of this country and also to boost your economy?
Yes, this is part of my campaign promise. We have already gotten funding from our partners. This is about 50 million US dollars. This is all for fishing in this country. We want to industrialize our fishing sector, and in doing that, we want to train our young people, to make sure they are trained, so that our young people will be involved in fishing, and in that, it will create jobs and it will grow our economy.
Thank you very much. We have 3 more to go. PYFC TV.
My name is Manyima Boja. Gambians are worried about the current interruption of electricity and water supply. What are the mechanisms in place to make sure that water supply is at least provided for the Gambians?
Water is connected to electricity. If the electricity is stable, the water will be stable because they are linked, because the boreholes are connected to the electricity. Let me encourage Gambians that maybe before end of December, we would have been connected to Jarasoma, Brikama and Jarasoma. Substations would have been connected to the ONVG. And by then, we would have gotten over 50 megawatts. That is more than 60% of our demand. So we would have stable electricity supply 24 hours. It will address the problem of electricity and water at the same time.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, we have Elegance Media. Elegance Media.
Mr. President, my name is Dudu Led. You have placed a great deal of emphasis on education for our young generation. What have you specifically put down as your first task now that you have been elected for the next 5 years? Would education be one of them?
Education have always been part of our top priorities. It is always top, and it will remain top. But as I said, I believe in infrastructural development. I will continue on with infrastructural development in this country, because I believe that all the development is linked to infrastructure, to create the environment, for anybody working in this country, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a teacher, whether whatever you are. I think the infrastructural development will create a very conducive working environment.
Lingear Post. Good afternoon. Congratulations, President-elect. My name is Nancy Jallo, and I am with Lingear Post. You've won a landslide victory, voted in mostly by women and young children. What plans do you have to include more women in Parliament, in front of what you're addressing?
For mortality rates, I think people should look at the statistics. It is going down drastically, if you look at from 2017 to now. So that means we are doing very well as far as that sector is concerned. For women, I think we have already started supporting women. You have the Women Enterprise Fund, and it is supporting women who are doing business in this country. And this is a project that will continue throughout from 2022 to 2026, and we will increase also the amount, and also we will train more women to be doing business, so that they can grow the economy, so that they can be employed.
Finally, we will call on BBC TV, Thompson Nada. Are you around? Thomas. Is he around?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, that will be our last one.
I'm Thomas Nadi and I work for the BBC. My question is, will you prosecute former President Yahya Jammeh for human rights abuses under his regime if the TRRC report recommends it?
If you say, will you prosecute President Yahya Jammeh, that will be personal. It's not me per se, but I said it will depend on what is the recommendation. And also it will depend on my team, my technical team. We look at it because there is a process that you look at. Because you have to look at the report and the recommendation. That's the time you compare. When we look at the report, we look at the recommendations, with my cabinet and the Minister of Justice, who is the technicians. He will lead in this and advise us. Then cabinet will sit around the table. And also cabinet, it is just like parliament. It's a debate. Sometimes if we agree and disagree on certain things, sometimes we vote in parliament to make sure we have a common ground. But we just want to assure the entire world and the Gambian people that there will be justice. No doubt about that. But let us be patient. Let us make sure we wait for the report and review it comprehensively. We don't want to make mistakes. We want to make the right decision. We don't want to be taken by sentiments. You understand? We don't want to be dictated also. We want to use, to make sure that we follow due process. I think in a democratic society, due process is very, very important. So on that note, thank you very much. And we thank everybody for coming to this press conference. We are very, very happy. And we congratulate everybody because the media, you did a very good job during the campaign and the election and the whole process. You are part of it. That's why I said, let me seize this opportunity to allow you to interact with me, so that I can address some of your concerns. And we thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, everybody. I'm sure.